Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. In today's Global's Producers Letter, we are finally getting EZA, LR, Gohan and Cell. It didn't really take us that long to get them on Global, but we are getting them soon, literally in like just over a week. But we'll get to that in the moment. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, but let's go through the remainder of the letter. So, hello. This is the operation team of the international version of Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. In this producer's letter, we will be sharing info about the upcoming new character and the characters who can be newly Extreme Z Awakened. A new Carnival feature character arrives in the Rising Dragon Carnival. New Super Saiyan Goku, who can be Dokkan Awakened into an LR and is available in summon events with Carnival in their names, will be featured in the Rising Dragon Carnival that starts from the 15th of February PST. So that is literally in a couple days. For me, that's the 16th. So I think literally tomorrow we should be getting details and animations for this LR Goku. What this LR Goku is, it's the one that recently came out on JP with the Battlefield LR Hachiyak, which is basically LR Super Saiyan Goku and everyone else from the Plan to Eradicate the Saiyans movie. It's a very good unit. It's a very good unit. I might do a separate video going through the details and the banners, etc. That this guy comes on. But as it says here with the quotation marks, Carnival in their names, this basically means that now on Global, finally, JP recently got this as well, but finally, we can exchange units on Carnival banners for Till coins. After all this time, we can finally do that. It's finally being implemented on Global. But this is the next unit dropping on Global, which is the LR Super Saiyan Goku from the Hachiyak movie. We have some more details here as well, which is after being Dokkan Awakened into an LR, Earth-shaking immense power Super Saiyan Goku, he will gain a powerful passive skill. Once he receives 10 or more attacks, from the next turn onward, he will be able to foresee the enemy super attack during his attack in turn. His active skill, which allows him to perform a critical hit within the turn is activated, is also powerful. In the Rising Dragon Carnival featuring Super Saiyan Goku, the chance of recruiting an SSR character is doubled compared to usual summon rates, which is very nice. I'm not gonna lie, we all know that Carnival banners aren't the best in terms of featured units. There'll be, as you saw there, the LR Future Gohan and Trunks on there, and as I said, this Goku himself is very good. And the double rates are nice, especially at trying to pull some featured LRs or just LRs in general, but even so, the banners aren't going to be great. We know this. They're never great. Plus, you can recruit one mysterious ritual Elder Kai by performing a multi-summon, grab the chance to recruit the Earth-shaking immense power Super Saiyan Goku. The function that allows you to exchange characters for Carnival coins, which is the Till coins, at barbershops is scheduled to be implemented in the version update planned for the 21st of February PST. So please wait a little bit more. So again, in about just over a week's time, we are finally going to be able to exchange characters for Carnival coins in the barbershop. It's been a while in the making, but we can finally do that. And then the main bit we're here for, those characters can finally be Extreme Z Awakened. I mean, finally is right. Finally is right when it comes to Global, but we are going to be getting the EZAs for the LR Super Saiyan Gohan that transforms into Super Saiyan 2 and the LR Cell as well, which we'll go through their, we've already gone through their details before, but we can go through them again at some point. But we are going to be picking up their EZAs finally on Global. Gohan is probably one of the best EZAs and one of the best units in the entire game on JP right now. So we're finally going to be getting that on Global. Cell is also very, very good. He is also up there with how good both of these are. And these guys should be coming on, yeah, there it is. They are coming on the 22nd of February PST, so for me the 23rd. So literally in just over a week's time, we're going to be getting the EZAs for LR, Gohan and Cell, but they are finally coming to Global, which I'm buzzing about. Do you know what? We're actually going to go through the details in this video for these two, and I'll do a separate video going over the details for LR Super Saiyan Goku and his banner, but they are amazing. Yo, my guy, what you saying? He's only broken after his transformation? No, he's still very, very good even prior to him transforming. Like, don't get me wrong, he's sick when he transforms, but he's still very good prior to being transformed. Okay, so here we have the details for the EZA, Gohan and Cell. So after EZA, Gohan will become a 180 lead for the Kamehameha category, which is very nice, still a very strong category. Not only that as well, Super AGL types will be led with Ki +3, HP and attack and defense +130. On his 12 key, he stacks defense, which Gohan already did prior. Causes colossal damage to the enemy and lowers attack. On his 18 key, also stacks defense, causes mega colossal damage to the enemy and greatly lowers attack. And then his passive gets attack and defense plus 150%. He then gets ki +2 plus an additional attack and defense plus 20% at the start of each turn, which stacks up to ki +8 and attack and defense plus 80% in total. He guards all attacks, so he now has built-in guard. I do really think that the devs decided to give him guard while being able to stack, just because of, I think they know how much they messed up with his transformation back in the day. So I feel like this was an apology with this, but he does guard now while stacking, which is great. He also has a high chance to launch an additional super attack when HP is 58% or more, which isn't going to be very difficult when you consider the units that can be run around this Gohan, including how good he is defensively. So having that built-in additional, of course, that's going to help you do some extra damage, but more importantly, stack him up a bit quicker. He also has a high chance of performing a critical hit when there is an androids category enemy. Very specific, but you know, it makes sense, and it's also useful to have. I mean, if you're doing for whatever reason at this point, if you're going into Red Ribbon Army Red Zone, at least he can guarantee crit there, I guess. But you know, and even Cell Max, there's the possibility there, but it's a very specific built-in crit. In terms of his active skill, it hasn't changed. For those of you who don't know, active skills will never really be adjusted, I don't think, ever, until they probably decide to like change the coding in the game. So this is all still the same. And then in terms of his transformation, this is where things get a little bit extra juicy, I'm not gonna lie. On 12 ki, he will greatly raise attack and defense by 50%. He'll cause mega colossal damage to the enemy. On 18 ki, he'll also greatly raise attack and defense by 50% for one turn and cause mega colossal damage to the enemy and greatly lowers attack and defense. And then his passive, he changes tech key spheres to AGL key spheres for 4 turns from the first appearance. He gets attack and defense plus 158% at the start of turn, and then gets attack plus 20% and defense plus 10% per key sphere obtained. Hence why the orb changing is going to be very handy in terms of basically building this guy up. He then gets an additional ki +1 per key sphere obtained, and also randomly changes key spheres of a certain type, excluding AGL and tech, to rainbow key spheres when facing only one enemy. So the extra key he's getting per key sphere obtained, of course, him being an LR, is being very helpful in consistently launching 18 key supers to maximize his damage. And then not only that as well, considering when you're facing only one enemy, the majority of harder content in the game is literally versing one enemy in like Red Zone, Cell Max, etc. Most of the harder content is against one enemy. So for the majority of the time when you're going to be using this guy, when it matters, you're going to be triggering that and getting that off. He also launches an additional super attack when facing multiple enemies, so if you are on a stage that does contain multiple enemies, or specifically like Super Battle Road and ESBR, when they get updated and you take him in there, he will launch multiple super attacks, which is going to help you, of course, clear the field of enemies. He then also has a high chance of launching an additional super attack and a high chance of performing a critical hit when HP is 58% or below, which, I'm not going to lie, can easily happen in Red Zone. You know, one unit gets super attacked too many times by Cell Max, for example, or the wrong unit gets super attacked in general in any other Red Zone run, and you could probably easily get your HP down there. But at the same time, again, when you consider the units that are going to be surrounding Gohan, including how good he is defensively, I don't know how often you're going to be below that. I'm not gonna lie, you might just about get there, because it's, you know, it's that kind of near that 60% mark, which isn't too difficult to actually maintain your HP at. But I reckon at some points you may just be missing it by a few percentage of HP, but still not too difficult to get down to. Also, it gets an additional attack plus 59% and launches an additional super attack if HP is 59% or more when launching an ultra super attack and your team has a Super Saiyan Goku attacking in the same turn. We're literally getting a new LR Super Saiyan Goku with the Rising Dragon Carnival banner. There's also Namek-ku, there's also Bird-ku, which, by the way, him and Bird-ku on the same rotation is ridiculous. So triggering this, incredibly easy. And again, especially with the extra ki +1 per key sphere obtained, very easy to trigger an ultra super attack and also trigger this portion of his passive just because of who you're going to be running him with. But this is what I'm saying, Gohan literally becomes not only one of the best EZAs in the game, but he also becomes one of the best units in the game. He's honestly ridiculous. And not only that, if we scroll down, Bird-ku pretty much perfectly links with Gohan. So that's also where that rotation is so good. Not only are you going to be taking next to no damage, but you're also going to be dealing hefty amounts of damage also because of Gohan. So I feel like this is kind of like an apology letter from Dokkan to us with how good they made his EZA. But moving on to Cell, he is now a 180 lead in ki +4 for androids in Cell Saga, which is very nice, especially if you don't have any 200% leads to run with these guys. He also gives extreme int key plus 3 HP and attack and defense plus 180. On 12 key, he does raise defense by 30% for 1 turn, causes colossal damage to the enemy and greatly lowers defense. On 18 key, he'll greatly raise attack for 1 turn and cause mega colossal damage to the enemy and lowers attack. In his passive, he gets attack and defense plus 120 at the start of turn and raises defense by up to 120. The more HP remaining, the greater the defense boost. So we still get that gimmick. Obviously, that's quite a lot of defense to get, but when you consider some of the units that you can run with Cell, there's a few healers in there, including Cell himself. So, you know, you can work it to your benefit. It's not too hard to keep HP with some of the units you're going to be using around him, but still, that gimmick is still there, of course. He does also get an additional key plus 2 and attack plus 30% per existing enemy. So again, in the likes of ESBR, he's going to be dishing out some damage. He then gets an additional attack and defense plus 50% performing a super attack, and then a high chance of launching an additional super attack. And he also evolves when conditions are met, which I'm pretty sure this has been changed. I'm pretty sure it's 50, and now it's 40. No, 30, and now it's 40. So now you have like an extra 10% HP. You don't have to go down to 30%, which is obviously very helpful. Doesn't make too much of a difference, but going down to 30% HP compared to 40, it's a minor change that you can, you know, trigger his transformation a lot more consistently and easier compared to before. And then Cell, compared to Gohan, does get a lot more juicier when he does transform. And then once he does, on 12 key, he'll greatly raise his defense for 1 turn by 50%. He'll cause mega colossal damage to the enemy and massively lowers defense. On 18 key, he'll greatly raise attack and defense for 1 turn by 50%. Causes mega colossal damage to the enemy and greatly lowers attack and defense. He'll recover your HP fully once only, which he's always had, which I've always thought is a very good mechanic that he has, and very useful, especially in harder content where you're literally limited to the items you bring, and typically you're going to be bringing like a Whis or something. So I really still do like this mechanic, and especially how good he now is transformed. I like this a lot. I like this even more. It's such an insurance policy that I've always rated on this Cell. He'll randomly change key spheres of a certain type other than int key spheres to rainbow key spheres. He then gets key plus 6, which off the bat is fantastic because again, he's an LR. You want to consistently launch your 18 key for consistent and maximized damage, but also you can get that 50% attack and defense raise rather than just the defense raise on the 12 key. He also gets attack and defense plus 180 at the start of turn and a high chance of launching an additional super attack, which is great. Again, especially when you consider harder content in Dokkan nowadays and how much defense you need. That's one 50% attack and defense raise, and then with the built-in additional, that's a second 50% defense raise. And then if you have any dupes or skill orbs equipped, you could potentially hit a third additional and raise your defense by 50% 3 times in total. So very nice indeed. Love having those built in. He also reduces damage received by 3% per key sphere obtained. I know it's not a lot, but when you consider him constantly raising his defense by 50%, whether you hit 2 supers or the full 3 if you're lucky with RNG, that is 3 50% attacking, well, 3 50% defense raises specifically, probably on average 2, but then also the damage reduction, even though it's not a lot, combined with it. So defensively, he can still be very solid in the likes of Red Zone, which is what we're looking for. He then gets an additional attack and defense plus 30% when attacking with 4 or more key spheres, which is where his orb changing comes in. He then gets an additional attack and defense plus 40% when attacking with 6 or more key spheres obtained, and then he then gets an additional attack and defense plus 50% when attacking with 8 or more key spheres obtained. And then he gets an additional attack plus 100% and a high chance upon a critical hit when activating the active skill or when key is 24. So if you can manage to pick up, you know, all the 8 key spheres to trigger all the extra attack and defense you're going to be getting, which in total you're looking at 120%. Combined with him raising his attack and defense on super by 50%, potentially 2-3 times if you're lucky, and the extra damage reduction sprinkled on top. As I said, Cell can be very good defensively solid. And not only that as well, the amount of damage this guy does, I've generally seen ridiculous amounts of videos where people just kind of, obviously nuke, you're not really going to do that too often in Red Zone, but nuke with him or still get a decent amount of orbs with him. And this guy is molly-whopping with damage. Like, it is ridiculous if you can get him all the orbs he needs to get the full attack and defense boost. And especially if you can get that extra attack plus 100%. He can do a lot of damage. Then his active skill, has his active skill actually changed? Greatly raise attack temporarily, cause ultimate damage to the enemy and massively lowers defense. Has this changed at all? No, it's still the same. It's still the same. And of course, the conditions are going to remain the same also because active skill conditions do not change. But those are the details for both the upcoming EZA, LR Gohan, and Cell. As I said, I am going to do a separate video on the LR Super Saiyan Goku that's coming, just because we're going to go for his banner and things like that. but they are insane. And global players, we are finally getting them. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I'll see you in the next video, guys, and peace.